King Tutankhamun is a name that is as well known as some of history's greatest figures, such as Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, and Alexander the Great. However, despite the fame of his name, the actual person behind it was not as well known as many believed. Thanks to advancements in DNA analysis and meticulous historical research, we can now take a closer look at who the young man known as King Tut really was, how he lived, how he died, and what kind of ruler he was. So, who was King Tut? Let's delve into some weird and fascinating facts about him. Born around 1341 BCE, Tutankhamun was the son of the powerful pharaoh Akhenaten. In 1334, King Akhenaten, the father of Tutankhamun, passed away, leaving two minor kings to reign over Egypt until Tut was old enough to take the throne. Finally, in 1332, Tutankhamun became the ruler of Egypt at a young age and governed for roughly the next 8 or 9 years. During his reign, Tutankhamun accomplished the restoration of Egypt to the polytheistic world of the god Amun. His father had converted the entire kingdom to Atonism, a monotheistic religion centered on the cult of the god Aten. However, this move was not well received among the population, and Tutankhamun saw it as his duty to restore Egypt to its original faith. Tragically, Tutankhamun passed away in 1323 at the age of only 19. He was buried in a hastily built, yet ornately decorated tomb that was eventually forgotten. King Tut's story would have ended there, were it not for the discovery made by British researcher Howard Carter in 1922. When British researcher Howard Carter discovered the treasures inside Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, the media coverage made the once obscure young pharaoh one of the most famous rulers in world history. To us, he is known as King Tut, but the ancient Egyptians never called him that. Before ascending to the throne, he went by the name Tutankhaten, which translates to living image of Aten. However, after being crowned, he changed his name to Tutankhamun, which was a significant promotion as Amun-Ra, the chief deity of Egyptian mythology, was the main god. Aside from these names, Tutankhamun was known by many other monikers, which reflected the various aspects of his divine role as pharaoh. These names are quite complex and difficult to pronounce, so much so that ordering a drink at Starbucks with one of these names would be a challenge. Like many ruling families in 19th century Europe, incest was common among Egyptian royalty, as keeping noble bloodlines pure was a top priority. It is generally believed that Tutankhamun's parents were brother and sister, which was confirmed by DNA tests performed on Tut's mitochondrial DNA by the Institute for Mummies and Icemen, a research group from Italy. The results revealed that Tut's mother was the genetic sister of Pharaoh Akhenaten, who is believed to be Tutankhamun's father. However, despite the DNA evidence, historians remain uncertain about the identity of Tutankhamun's mother. Some believe she was Queen Nefertiti, one of Akhenaten's wives. But until new evidence emerges, she is known only as the younger lady in the technical language of Egyptian studies. This is also a title that might be found on a streaming service like Netflix. Despite the social benefits of keeping noble bloodlines pure, the practice of incest among Egyptian royalty had serious genetic consequences. Tutankhamun, being a product of such a union, had several prominent physical disfigurements. Contrary to the virile image immortalized in his famous death mask, the real Tut probably suffered from a number of debilitating conditions. He had a severe overbite, a curved spine, a severely disfigured foot, extremely slim hips, and a skewed face. On top of all that, he also suffered from epilepsy and likely had pronounced breasts. As a result, Tutankhamun lived most of his short life in extreme pain. While he may have been a king, his physical challenges would have made his life anything but easy. Tut had severe clubfoot, which meant he needed help walking. This is backed up by the fact that over 100 different walking sticks and canes were found in his tomb. Along with him were special stools used for shooting with a bow and arrow. No one fully understood why Tut was buried with these implements until a virtual autopsy was performed and the clubfoot was revealed. Tutankhamun's reign as pharaoh was brief, and in terms of historical events, relatively unremarkable. While the kingdom was involved in some minor military campaigns against their Hittite enemies during this time, Tut likely played no direct role in these battles. However, Tut did have a significant impact on Egypt's religious and cultural landscape. He is credited with playing a role in reviving the worship of the god Amun and moving the capital of Egypt back to Thebes from Amarna. Tut also worked to restore many temples and places that had been destroyed in previous conflicts. While Tut's reign may not have been filled with significant political or military accomplishments, his efforts to restore Egypt's cultural and religious traditions had a lasting impact on the kingdom's history. When Tutankhamun ascended the throne at the age of 9, it was clear that he would need the guidance of strong advisors to help him rule effectively, and fortunately, he had them. The first among them was Horemheb, who served as the commander-in-chief of the Egyptian army. The second was Grand Vizier A, a wise counselor who had once been a soldier himself. Many historians believe that A was the true power behind the throne, given his vast experience and influence. Interestingly, A succeeded Tut as pharaoh after his death, but only reigned for 4 years before he too passed away. After A's death, Horemheb became the pharaoh of Egypt and went to great lengths to erase the legacies of Akhenaten, Tut, and A from the historical record. Some speculate that Horemheb was bitter about being passed over for the promotion earlier in his career. Whatever the reason, it's clear that good communication and management skills are crucial for any successful leader, whether in ancient times or in the present day. As was customary for Egyptian royalty, Tutankhamun was married to a relative shortly after he became pharaoh. In this case, his bride was his own half-sister, Ankhesenamun. She was believed to be a few years older than Tut, but beyond that, not much is known about her. Like Tut, Ankhesenamun was a child of the controversial pharaoh Akhenaten, and may have even been married to him before becoming Tut's wife. Many theories exist about the untimely death of King Tutankhamun, ranging from genetic disorders to foul play. However, a study conducted in 2010 suggests that the young pharaoh died from complications caused by a malarial infection, which may have been exacerbated by his weakened immune system due to his genetic makeup. It is believed that Tut broke his leg shortly before his death, which could have further weakened his already compromised immune system, leading to his ultimate demise. While the exact cause of his death may never be known with certainty, this study sheds some light on the possible factors that contributed to the loss of this ancient Egyptian king. So what do you think? What new facts did you learn about King Tut? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from Time Capsule.